Yo people, what it do? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Tony, aka Two Tone, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Marc Guehi. So there were reports coming out today that is suggesting that Barcelona have been linked to Marc Guehi in the summer of 2026. He's also attracting interest from Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. And let's not forget, right at the 11th hour on transfer deadline day, his potential move to Liverpool collapsed only because Crystal Palace weren't able to find an ideal replacement, therefore blocking his move going to Liverpool. So from the looks of it, with Guehi running down his contract, big clubs are realizing that this could be a massive market opportunity. And with Guehi currently refusing to sign a contract extension with Crystal Palace, I believe the big clubs in Europe are realizing this can be a massive transfer opportunity. So let's get to know Marc Guehi a little bit, since everybody is being linked to him, the hot commodity. He's a center back in the Premier League, currently plays for Crystal Palace, also has about 23 caps with England at the time of this recording. Right-footed center back, but interestingly, he does primarily play on the left side of the defense. I know at Crystal Palace, they usually run a back five formation, so they usually have three center backs, and Marc Guehi plays on the left-hand side of the back three in the Crystal Palace formation. With England, though, for more often than not, especially as of late, they've been playing in a back four, and which is more similar to what Barcelona runs in the back four. And in that back four, he plays as the left-sided center back, not the right, but the left. Though again, he's right-footed, he primarily plays, whether it's for Crystal Palace or it's with England, he primarily plays on the left-hand side. Reasons on why I believe Marc Guehi would be a good fit: he has good on-ball skills, good distribution, and obviously, as at Barcelona, every center back, that is the floor. This is why I'm still wondering how Ronald Araujo has made it this far, but this is not about him. This is about Marc Guehi. Again, good on-ball skills, good distribution. He reads the game well. He usually is in great positioning. He's really good at tackling and interceptions as well, man. Every time I've watched him, and you watch his highlights, he's rock solid when it comes to being there to make blocks. So again, these are all traits that you will want to have in a center back. He's also very disciplined. He rarely gives the ball away. And he's rarely dragged out of position getting cheap fouls. And with center backs, again, bringing up Ronald Araujo, I guess it is Ronald Araujo. I'm sorry, bro. But, being disciplined matters, because if you're the last man in defense, we can't afford to have you being sent off. We can't afford to have you dragged out of position. We can't afford for you to have cheap yellow cards. These are things that with Marc Guehi, honestly, you wouldn't have to worry about. So for me, these are all positives on why he would be able to fit Barcelona's system. Also, another trait that I feel like that we're missing out on, something that we've been missing since Inigo left, and even though he just left over the summer, but this is a trait that the locker room is missing, and that's leadership qualities. Inigo, obviously, for Barcelona, was one of the leaders in that locker room. Definitely the leader in that back line. So with the club losing him, we're asking for Cubarsí, who's still a teenager, and Ronald Araujo, who last couple years hasn't been a routine starter and has been linked with exits. We're asking them to lead that back line now. And though Marc Guehi is not used to La Liga and he doesn't speak Spanish, with him already being the captain at Crystal Palace, you cannot doubt his leadership qualities. And give him time to adapt to a new league, new language. I don't believe, without a doubt, he wouldn't be able to showcase that leadership quality at Barcelona. Something that we're missing out on. Not too big. You really can't put that on paper. You can't measure it, but hopefully we don't see it rear its ugly head too much as the season goes. But we need a voice. We need a leader in that back line, and Marc Guehi, for me, fits that description. However, understanding that no player is perfect, there are a few weaknesses in Marc Guehi's game that I've noticed with watching him. The obvious one, he is 6 feet. And because he's 6 feet, his weakness is going to be the aerial duels. And that means physical number 9s, when they cross the ball in, he's moving them out the way to win headers. And I'm not saying that like Mark Guehi's weak. It's something he can't control. If you're short, you're short. But that's something that's already a problem at Barcelona to begin with. We don't have the biggest defenders in the world. Christensen is pretty tall, but he doesn't play all the time. And Ronald Araujo, I'll give him credit on that aspect. He is tall, he is very physical, but that's really about it as far as dominant center backs that's going to be winning the ball in the air. So if Barcelona does go ahead and sign a player like that, he's not going to be coming in and fixing our aerial duel problems, I will call them, that we have. He wouldn't be coming in fixing that. Also, at times when I watch Crystal Palace or just watch them play with England, and this is probably a problem that a lot of center backs have, especially in these current systems, high lines or whatnot, but there are times where he tends to lose the runners coming in from deep, and you can argue that that's really not even his responsibility. You can argue that that probably should be the defensive mid or the midfielder that's picking up deep runs, but it is something that I've noticed that, you know, if you're making a deep run, Mark Guehi may not be able to see it, may react to it a little bit late, and understanding that in Barcelona's high-lying system, he could be exposed in that aspect. I feel like he would get better coverage from his midfielders, but that's something that you may want to keep an eye on as far as if we do sign him, how will he handle those secondary runs, because we already know with that high line that Hansi Flick likes to run, them diagonal passes, them killer balls that they like to play in, coming in from the opposite side, and then that last run coming in. Will he see that after the switch? These are things that, you know, we won't know the answer to, but something to ask, you know, we really don't know. But after thinking about his pros, his cons, how he would fit, understanding his player background and everything like that, my personal take on this, if I'm going to be honest, look, without a doubt, Mark Guehi's a top level center back. I think that's a given. Like, you're linked with Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich. You are a top level center back. However, in Barcelona's case, if I'm being honest, I believe this is nothing more than just a market opportunity. Prior to this deal collapsing at the transfer deadline day, I haven't heard anything about him being linked with Barcelona once. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't any links. I'm just telling you, I haven't seen any links with Mark Guehi being linked to Barcelona prior to the transfer window closing. All summer, it was just basically him going to Liverpool. It was inevitable. It was just about Liverpool trying to wrap up Isak and Crystal Palace finding a replacement. But everybody already kind of knew that he was going to be going to Liverpool. So, I don't know, maybe that's why we didn't hear any links, because the club knew what's the point. One, he has a year left, so we're going to have to pay a fee and register him. But two, he's damn near 1 foot in the door at Liverpool. So, maybe that could explain why I haven't seen any links from Barcelona and Mark Guehi prior to this transfer window closing. This could simply just be, that can be the reason, or it could be it's just because it's international break and rumors, you know, papers got to sell, so that's why his name is all of a sudden being thrown in there. But you know, you never know. It's been several different outlets from Rack One, the Mirror, I believe Mundo Deportivo has even said something about it, so it seems to be pretty legit. But again, if I'm just being honest, understanding my club, man, I think it's more than just, hey, this is a quality player who fits in a position of need, and more importantly, he's free. If he wasn't free, I don't believe we would even be entertaining this. I'm just being honest. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping on that, but I'm just being honest. If Guehi does run down his contract, though, of signing him for free in 2026 is definitely very realistic. That said, there are still a couple big challenges. One, as a free agent, Guehi is going to want a big signing on bonus. His agent is going to want a big signing on bonus. And I just don't know if that's something that's feasible with the club right now. And two, something small, but something I've noticed. Barcelona don't normally sign English players. It's just as simple as that. We normally don't. Now, I know, we just signed Marcus Rashford, but it is a loan move. It's not permanent yet. And that was the last English player we signed before Rashford was 1986 with Gary Lineker. So we don't have a loan. We're not Real Madrid when it comes to signing English players. So when I see English players in the Premier League being linked to Barcelona, I'm like, I hear you, and though it'll be a great fit to FIFA, I don't know culturally if that's something that a lot of those players are willing to do. Probably, but then again, you got to ask, is Barcelona, is that something that they'd be willing to do? Again, if this wasn't just a market opportunity, if I'm being honest, I don't think it would be something we'd be going for. But with everything and how it's lining up, I mean, I guess I understand why the links are there, but I'm only looking at it as this is just a sporting, I mean, not a sporting, I wish it was a sporting reason, but really this is just a market opportunity. Because if it was really, really a sporting reason, I believe would have heard links around Guehi, and if he would have fit the club so well due to sporting reasons, we probably wouldn't have a problem paying 35-45 million euros for a player like Guehi. He's on the last year of his contract. So now it's over to you. Just how realistic of an opportunity is it that Guehi will join Barcelona? Do you see him as a fit? Would you take him on a free if the chance came at 2026? I mean, for me, it's a layup. So what do you guys think? Should we go for that if that is a realistic opportunity? If not, and I need y'all to comment this down below, who would you sign? Understanding our financial limitations and all that, he don't have to be free, but be somewhat realistic in your, oh yeah, I think Barcelona should and could sign player. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all. I just wanted to check your, temperature on that and see what you guys thought about that. I do appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, leave a like, and again, leave a comment down on how you feel about this. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video, man, and I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. So until then, peace.